Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going to dig into a really interesting analysis from Kartik about technological disruption.
Yeah, it's about this hierarchy he lays out. And the really surprising part is how even, massive disruptors can get caught off guard.
Exactly. We're focusing on one specific case. A huge innovator built a multi-trillion-dollar company basically on electric vehicles, EVs,
Right.
suddenly finding himself, well, kind of fighting a defensive battle against something seemingly unrelated. Work from home.
It's fascinating.
Uh,
Cardiac positions, video conferencing, the whole WFH phenomenon as this higher order disruption. And the key word there is dematerialized.
Dematerialized meaning it just gets rid of the need for the thing below it.
Precisely. It doesn't just offer a better way to drive like EVs do compared to gas cars. It potentially removes the need to drive at all for a huge chunk of activity.
Yeah.
It cannibalizes the demand.
Okay, let's set the stage with that lower order first, the EVs. The basic argument for them is pretty strong, right?
Oh, absolutely. Traditional engines, internal combustion, they improve maybe, 1.5% a year? Something like that.
Tiny increments.
Yeah, whereas EVs, driven by battery tech and software, they're improving at like 7 to 8% annually. It's just a fundamentally faster improving technology.
So eventually they're destined to win almost all use cases, like 98%.
That's the projection. And it's why, even though EVs are still only maybe 17, 18% of new car sales globally,
Still feels kind of niche in some ways.
it does, but that percentage is climbing fast. And it's why the market cap for the leading EV maker has been hovering around, 800 billion, sometimes $1 trillion. The market sees that superior tech curve.
But Kartik points out a limitation here, right? It's not infinite improvement.
Exactly. There's a stall point coming. Battery costs will come down, sure, that's the high-tech part. But a car is still a car.
You mean the physical stuff?
Yeah, the chassis, the seats, the doors, the glass, that's all low-tech stuff. It doesn't get cheaper nearly as fast. So the overall EV price decline will eventually sort of flatten out, much like we saw with PCs.
Okay, so that physical limitation is where the higher order disruption comes in video conferencing and work from home.
Right. And this one's interesting because, well, it's not new. People were predicting this back in the dot-com bubble, 99, 2000.
I remember the hype. Cisco bought WebEx, they bought Tandberg. Big bets on video.
Huge bets. But it stalled. The
Mm.
hardware was incredibly expensive. You needed dedicated rooms. And critically, bandwidth just wasn't there for most people.
So what changed?
Well, the tech kept improving quietly in the background. Bandwidth got cheaper and faster. Cameras got better and cheaper. Software got easier. And then came the external shock, COVID-19.
Ah, the great accelerator.
Exactly. It forced the adoption curve to basically catch up to where the technology could be almost overnight. And now, video conferencing tech is improving at maybe 10, even 12% a year.
Faster even than EVs.
Faster. And crucially, it's dematerialized. It replaces driving with no driving. Think about the impact for many knowledge workers. That's 10, 15 hours a week of commuting and related activities just gone.
And here's the kicker Kartik highlights. Who are the prime customers for those high-end, tech-forward EVs?
It's the exact same group most likely to benefit from WFH. The attorneys, software developers, corporate execs, people in highly paid desk jobs.
The ones who could afford the premium EVs were the ones whose driving needs were suddenly plummeting.
Right. The analysis mentioned driving activity in places like Silicon Valley dropping by like 2/3 for this demographic during the peak WFH shift. That directly eats into the core market for expensive EVs.
Which leads us to the conflict. We saw this very public pushback against WFH from that same EV innovator, framing it as a moral issue.
Yeah, the argument was basically, well, factory workers can't work from home, delivery drivers can't, service workers can't, so desk workers shouldn't either.
Which Kartik calls out as well.
As a pretty weak argument, strategically speaking, and very uncharacteristic. It's like arguing against, indoor offices because farmers work outside.
You're against employer health care because not every job offers it.
Exactly. It felt defensive.
Yeah.
Kartik suggests it was a moment where the reality hit. This dematerialized disruption, WFH, was directly threatening his core physical product business.
But then the pivot, or maybe the realization of an existing synergy.
Right. You look at his other major venture, Starlink, from SpaceX. What does it do? It provides high bandwidth internet anywhere.
The ultimate enabler for remote work.
Precisely. So on one hand, he's building the cars that WFH makes less necessary for his key demographic. On the other, he's building the infrastructure that powers WFH globally.
So he adapted, stopped fighting what Kardec calls the first principles of technology and economics.
Seems like it. You can't really fight gravity, technologically speaking. Dematerialized disruptions are incredibly powerful because their diffusion is almost instant.
What do you mean?
Well, anyone with a decent internet connection in a phone or laptop could start using Zoom or Teams basically overnight.
Right.
There's no factory needed, no supply chain for the core service.
Whereas cars, even EVs, need huge physical factories, materials, shipping. It's inherently slower to scale and diffuse.
Exactly.
So, thinking about the impact for you, the listener, this WFH shift driven by this higher order tech, it's profoundly deflationary, isn't it?
It really is, in ways we don't always talk about. It's
Well,
not just saving on gas or car payments. It's freeing up potentially billions of hours of highly productive people's time.
time that can go into second jobs, side hustles, family, learning.
Or even allowing older, experienced workers to stay productive longer. Maybe driving becomes difficult, but they can still contribute immensely from a desk at home.
So the big lesson here, drawing from Kardec's analysis, seems to be about recognizing these different orders of disruption.
Yeah, and that moment of resistance to WFH. The source material frames it as perhaps a brief instance where the desire to sell the physical thing, the car, overshadowed a deeper understanding of where internet-driven, dematerialized progress was heading.
Which leaves us with a final thought to chew on. If a seemingly simple, almost overdue technology like good video conferencing could catch a trillion-dollar innovator off guard, what other dematerialized disruptions are bubbling up right now, maybe looking insignificant, but are actually poised to completely dismantle other established physical industries? And who's going to be surprised next?